Malaysia says that it's deported more than 1,000 Myanmar citizens despite a court ordering a halt to the plan. The last-minute court order had been issued just as the migrants were being bussed to a port in Perak. It was in response to a legal move by groups who claimed the migrants were fleeing conflict and persecution in Myanmar. The court is expecting to hear their petition tomorrow. Melissa Go joins us now with the latest on this story. Mel, why has Malaysia proceeded to deport these Myanmar nationals despite that court order?
According to the Immigration Director General Khairul Zaimi, in a statement issued this evening, the deportation of Myanmar nationals have already been completed earlier today. Now, some 1,086 Myanmar nationals, it said, had boarded the Myanmar ships voluntarily. There was no Rohingya refugees nor any asylum seekers on board. Now, the deportation was arranged between Malaysian Navy and the Myanmar counterpart, the Mato, the armed forces. Now, these Myanmar nationals, he reiterated, were without proper document. They were illegal migrants and were supposed to be sent home, but was delayed due to the border closures. Now, according to ship satellite tracking site, the Myanmar ships left the naval dockyard in Lumut, Perak, along the coast of Straits of Malacca at about 5 p.m. local time. Now, the stay order was issued by the High Court this morning at 10 a.m., and that's why the lawyers representing the rights groups are up in arms. They will be issuing a statement soon, they said, but as far as they are concerned, it's contempt of court. But the fact remains is that the ships set sail together with over 1,000 Myanmar nationals on board. Many were ethnic Chin and Muslim minorities who once fled violence and persecution in Myanmar. Now, according to a court document filed by the rights groups earlier, Amnesty International as well as Asylum Access, there were also 17 minors aged below 18 who were forced to be separated from their parents who are still here in Malaysia. Now, meanwhile, the Malaysian government remained silent, chose to steer clear of the incident. The Foreign Ministry has earlier voiced serious concerns over what's going on in Myanmar after the military coup and urged all sides to resolve their conflict through peaceful dialogues.
That reaction from the Malaysian government aside, what reaction in a wider sphere have we seen to this repatriation, Mel?
Well, as far as lawyers I spoke with, it's contempt of court. They said because the ships were in Malaysian waters at that time when there was a clear order from the court to stay the deportation. Now, the ships, including the military vessels, were located within Malaysian jurisdiction. That's what they argued. But others are saying that the ships are sovereign by themselves, by the flag that they carry. It's Myanmar territory. So when the nationals boarded the ships, they are assumed to be back in Myanmar. So there's nothing that the Malaysian government nor the Navy could do. Now, as far as the public's concerned, the reactions have been quite mixed, really. While many are sympathetic towards the Myanmar nationals being sent home at a time that the country is gripped by widespread protests following the military coup and also amid the COVID-19 pandemic. But at the same time, the country itself, many Malaysians felt that the country is gripped too by rising COVID-19 cases. And the government has enough on its plate with the rollout of the vaccines scheduled to take place tomorrow. Now, as far as Malaysian government is concerned, that the arrangement was made before the coup took place on February 1st, regardless who's in power, these Myanmar nationals, they were arrested for not having legal documents. They ought to be sent home.
Mel, thank you very much for that. Melissa Go there, live for us in Kuala Lumpur.